Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me, Rays, and I am here today to do a follow-up video to a video I made earlier this week about a problem that happened on the JP side with the 1-year anniversary banners, in which a pattern was discovered that basically showed off that there were some fixed groups that users were put into. Now, first of all, I want to address something before we get really into this video. It was not my intention to make the video and kind of just leave it for a long period of time, mainly because I think that this is important and this is something that we should really focus on, because this is super important in a game like this. But this week I ended up getting sick, and so making a response video has been kind of difficult. So apologies for not being able to make this video sooner and get this video uploaded sooner. But yeah, this week has just been kind of rough. So I hope that, that kind of explains it. And if you don't think that's a good enough explanation, well, that's just the way it is. So, all right, with that out of the way, let us talk about what exactly happened. So for people who are not aware, and I think that basically the entire community at this point is super aware, is the fact that earlier this week there was a bunch of basically UR-only anniversary banners. And what happened was, very quickly, that a lot of users online came together and found out that people were getting specific summons, like literally the exact same summons over and over and over again, and it was starting to become that there was a pattern, and very quickly they put together that there was a pattern, and then everyone kind of lost their mind and went nuts on social media, and my video kind of got put out there and informed people thusly, and a lot of people went crazy. Like literally there's a ton of comments in that video, too many for me to even get through, and like police and everything, it just kind of just went insane. And then what happened? So that's basically the situation. It looked like there was some kind of either problem with the gacha, or gacha was being fixed into specific groups, meaning that certain accounts were only getting certain pulls, and this was a major problem. So let me talk about what happened after. Shortly after the problem was discovered and noted on Twitter and other forms of social media, and people got in contact, the banners were very quickly removed completely from the JP side. And once that had happened, basically this message kind of came out, which I am going to read now. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience caused to the users during the series of problems related to summoning. We would like to express our gratitude to all of you for supporting us and celebrating our first year anniversary. We are sorry for having caused such a situation at this turning point. In the future, we will work strict caution to prevent this from happening again. We look forward to your continued support of FFB. Now, basically, this message came across as being read as, this was an error in the gacha system. This was not intended in any way, which, to be fair, if they had said that this was actually intended, there probably would be lawsuits. So I do expect this kind of message. Now, as to the response also worked like this. Basically, every single player on the JP side who spent anything on these banners ended up getting fully refunded for all of the lapis that they spent. And not only that, but there was a apology banner as well that was put up. Basically, players were given a extra banner that they could pull on that was a 10 consecutive summon, 5 UR characters, 5 UR vision cards with a single reroll possibility on it, and that was given away free to the players who were affected. Long story short, I think that this response is pretty adequate in terms of what I expect from from Gumi as a company. Basically, kind of apologizing for it. explaining that the situation was unexpected and everything, and refunding players and everything. I think that this is baseline adequate. As I said in my video earlier, I think that there needed to be a plus side to this, like not just a full refund, but also a little bit more, and they did do that. So I am going to give them credit for that. And for anybody who is now, I'm going to get into a little bit of discussion about what I think about this. But first of all, I want to make something very clear to all of you people out there, everyone who views my videos, who views other people's videos, who watches other streamers, my streams, any of that shit. First of all, don't harass any of us. Don't look for us to champion this. Everybody is their own player. They can take this news and decide based on their own judgment whether or not they do or do not want to spend. That is their choice, and they are welcome to it, and you should not be harassing any of the other players, whether it is Diggs or Cabbage or Plea or any streamer, basically, or any YouTube content creator. Please don't fucking do that. Let people play what they want to play and spend how they want to spend, and you don't need to protect them if they are an adult and can make their own decisions. Let them do that, okay? So yes, taking a look at, now I want to get into my own topic, my own feelings about this, and what I think about it overall in terms of the response and everything, and whether or not I believe them or not. And this is totally my opinion and my feelings, and this is how I feel, because the simple fact is that we are never going to have enough evidence completely at this point to make a judgment call that this was 100% account fixing and this has been happening on previous banners. We don't have the data for that. We don't have anything about that. And we don't know if this was just a one-time error or not. So for the sake of this video, I am going to take that stance overall. That being said, I do want to talk about what I think happened. Basically, one of the things I think that is very evident about programming in general is that there is no such thing as true RNG. There is no such thing as, not RNG necessarily, but randomness. Basically, randomness kind of works to this idea that, you know, you could do a thing a million times and get a million different results, and you could get, like, if you had a thing that picked numbers out of a hat, and you could get, you know, any series of numbers possible. You could even get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like in complete numerical order. That is complete and true randomness, and there's nothing basically affecting that system at all, inside or outside, and it is just pure, you know, luck and chance as to how the numbers are drawn. That being said, I don't think that is possible in terms of programming, or if it is, well, I'm not super well versed on programming, but I just generally think from what exposure I do have that you kind of need to base the system off something. And I do think what happened is that a little bit of the flaws in the gotcha system, potentially in Taga as well, and potentially in Brave Exvius, depending on how well or how much this code is used in other games too by this company, kind of does speak to the weakness of what happened. Once you take all the low rarity units and basically just make it URs only, the pattern that the gotcha system ends up choosing from is very evident, and the pattern is actually a little bit too predictable in the sense that you can literally figure it out. People figured it out with a very small amount of data in this game, and it could be just the low number of units. It could be a lot of different stuff that ended up pointing to this system's errors. That is a possibility. Again, Gumi basically has come out saying that this is a kind of error kind of thing and it should never happen again. And that is totally plausible. It is not necessarily malicious content, and it is on us, the players, to basically prove that malicious content. We cannot say that they are guilty without enough data and proof, and one banner does not make enough data improve. So, what could have happened is basically just that the system is incredibly flawed, not very well programmed. This is Gumi after all, and that this is just a total collapse of the system. It just didn't work this time, and they are going to fix it and make it better and more random in the future. And then, well, it's just business as usual. Now I'm going to also go to the other side, that this was maliciously planned. Why do I think that? Well, or why do I think that is possible, I should say? Well, simply put, Umi has not had the best history in being really good to their customers or being really fair to the customers. Brave Exvius has had its events, and, I'm not surprised to see them here as well. The one thing that will always stick out in my mind, because it was a breach of trust by this company, was when Alum, who is a subsidiary of Gumi, basically did the Noctis banner and then hid the Luna Freya banner and split it up and split the rates, and then later said that we are so sorry, we thought this was a good idea, the team will, and this will never happen again, and everything. And you know what? You got caught with your hand in the cookie jar. You did something bad. You broke a lot of consumers' trust, and they did not return. That is a thing that has happened. So there is precedence for both of these cases to have happened over. There is a chance that it was just bad programming. It would not surprise me even a little bit. There's tons of extended maintenance in this game. There are tons of errors. There are tons of problems. There are tons of things that don't work as they're supposed to when they're launched. Do I have to bring up in Brave Exvius the fact that when they launched the multiple friends system and the weapon enhancement system, that it broke the game for like a month on the Japanese side? This is things that have happened with this company. They are not the best in terms of programming and making games. And it would not surprise me if that extended to the gacha as well. However, Gumi as a company has had shady dealings in the past, and they are a company. They are not here to be your friends. They are not here to give you the most wonderful experience. They give you a wonderful experience, and that makes them money. As any company in the world, that is basically the end goal of all of these companies. It's not to be your friend. It's not to be your ally. Not to give you a good experience. It's to make money, and the good experience is what facilitates that. The goal is always cash revenue, profits, and, performing, just being good to your customer is something that is kind of expected in all of this. But either way, both of these things are a possibility. And this is the point where I am going to tell all of you that each and every one of you should make up your own mind and not listen to conspiracy theorists on Reddit or on YouTube, or say that this opinion, because I heard it from someone I respect, is I'm just taking this as gospel. This is the way it is. No, it isn't. We don't have enough evidence to say one way or another. This is definitively what has been going on since the beginning of the game. But at the time when we found out about this, I was rightfully pissed off. I was angry. And I still am kind of angry, and that has kind of influenced my decision of where I want to go with this game. But I do think that each of you needs to look and decide and figure out whether or not this really affects you in terms of your spending, in terms of your playing, in terms of playing future games from this company as well, knowing that it is either incompetence or in fraudulent, potentially actual fixing. So yeah, personally, I think that each of you should make up your own mind and not pressure other people to champion this shit or anything. It's a game, you guys. 2020 has been an absolute shit year for a lot of people. People who have lost family, people who have lost their health, people who have lost their jobs, people who just need to play a game and have fun and have a little enjoyment with their friends who play this game as well, maybe. And maybe just enjoy the community. Lay the fuck off, okay? Literally, I am talking to you, the viewer, to grow the fuck up make your own decision and live by your own decision and the consequences of your actions, but also don't pressure other people to be like you. It's a game. This is not some kind of like human rights violation or something. You can choose. You can choose to not play this. You can choose to spend money. You can choose to be free to play. You have all of these choices, and this shit happens, and you need to just kind of decide. So please, please, please be kind to each other. 2020 has been a rough year on everyone, and I think that we all could use to be a little more human to each other. Thank you. Now, for my response. Personally, this has considerably damaged my relationship with this game, my relationship with this company. I mean, once bitten, twice shy, but this is definitely me being incredibly shy at this point. Like, I have made the decision that I do not want to spend on this game anymore, because I think that this is just too far of a breach of trust, either being incompetently programmed, which is just becoming frustrating at this point, not listening to the viewer, to issues that I have with the game as well, has kind of hurt my opinion of this game overall, so I could be looking more for just a reason to not spend on this game and kind of back away from this game a little bit. But am I going to quit playing? Hell no. I do find this game enjoyable. I like the community. I like doing these videos. I like helping people out with all of this stuff. And it is there is some fun. I do have fun with this game. There are miserable moments and there are things that definitely need to be improved, but I do enjoy stuff in this game and I do have fun seeing all the new characters and their limit burst animations and their animations and figuring out their kits and whether or not they're going to be good. All that is fun to me. I do enjoy that. And I'm going to continue playing Wotv. But in terms of my spending, this just is a point where the game really needs to... I mean, the developers of this game, the lead developers of this game, not the low developers. Remember, lower tier developers, customer service, all of those guys, those are humans who don't really get a ton of money and don't get, really don't have any choice in what goes on in the game. I think that you need to remember that as well. But the lead developers, the executives, the stockholders, the guys who make all of the decisions, those are the ones who really need to buck the hell up when it comes to this basic problem that I think we are facing. And I do think that the game needs massive restructuring, ironically, after an anniversary. I think the cost of this game is way too high. I think that the EX jobs is just way too high. The paid Lapis bonus is just not good enough, and you have a ton of competition out there. Make this game better, but regardless, I have basically just decided at this point, and, I guess I'm leaving a kind of wiggle room in case that they make it incredibly generous to people who spend, then I might come back and spend a tiny bit in the future. So I'm kind of leaving that open for myself as a possibility, because again, I do kind of enjoy this game. I do like the tactics element. I do like all of that. But in terms for now, as the game is, and with this event, I'm just not going to be spending any more in this game, and that's just going to make it more difficult to build the characters, but so be it. That's the way I guess it has to be. I think that what they did was adequate in terms of appeasing people, and it was the least they had to do, but really, it wasn't above and beyond. It wasn't... and it was going to be tough to kind of make me overall completely happy with their response, but in general, this is a tough situation. This is a tough situation to talk about. I do like it. I am happy that, of the improvements that are going and continuing and spending time with the community and everything like that. So I will continue playing this game, but for now, at least for the foreseeable future, without a massive restructuring in the payment section in terms of making this game way more generous for spending money on this game, because it is just way too expensive to develop everything and build everything. They have lost a customer And I think each of you individually should figure out whether or not you feel the same, and globalers as well. You should take a stance on this, because this is a problem, and this is kind of pulling back the curtain, realizing that there are some serious problems in this case. So yeah, I think I've spoken enough about this. I'm just kind of rambling and going on. This is obviously a emotional situation, a little bit, in the sense of how frustrating and angry it has made me this week, and being sick has not made it any easier. But again, I would like to reach out to all the viewers out there. Definitely be courteous and kind to our community. It is not the players' fault. They can spend their money how they want, support what they want, and whatnot. And if they're okay with it, that's just something you're going to have to deal with, is the fact that, that's just the way it is for them. And they are totally 100% within their rights to feel that way. I don't know. Anyway, I've spoken enough about this, so let me know what you think. Try and be civil in the comments, for God's sakes. Because you know what? We may not be able to trust the company, but we should be able to trust our community to get through together, still play the game, still enjoy it. Because you know what? I do believe that if you really, really, really want to piss these people off, if you really want to enact change, don't spend money, be a free-to-player, and they will get the message that there are people who want to play their game, but don't think that it's worth the money that they're and the way they're operating. So anyway, I think I finally got through this video. I hope you like this video and my response, but if not, sorry, I need to take a little bit of a thing more about the community than anything, because if you really, 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 really are just so dead set that this is a conspiracy and this is bullshit and things behind the scenes are, like this on every single banner, prove it. Find a way to prove it. Do something, collect the data, and once you have that and you've proved it, then, well, guess what? We can take it to a court or a lawyer or a class action lawsuit against them. But until we have that evidence, circumstantial at best. But I have figured out where I stand in all. Shoutouts to Cabbage and Dr. Diggs. Heard you guys sent people over to my video. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for the support. See you in the next video, which is probably just going to be news. Back to, business. Take care, you guys. See you later.